What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the After Bedtime Podcast. It's been a little bit, but we're back at it. I'm excited to have this dad with us. This dad is special. I've worked with him. He is an amazing actor, an amazing father, a military man. He juggles so many hats, y'all. This guy can do it all and literally is doing it all. I'd like to introduce y'all to Curtis Williams. Curtis, what's up? How are you,
What's
brother?
going on, everybody? Fresh off of work, you could probably see it in my eyes.
This man is a workaholic. He's a working machine, but he does it for a good reason. It's for his kids. He knows why he's doing it. He's got his why motivated. And we're going to dive into all of that. But really, before we get started, kind of give you guys a little bit of a backstory. If you haven't watched King's Initiative, please watch King's Initiative, y'all, because this is something that we did a couple years ago. It's with the Black American Dad Foundation, some really cool PSAs. And Curtis was in one of them. Pass it on. You can go check them out. They're all on YouTube. If you go to Black American Dad's YouTube page, you can check those out. Curtis was amazing in it. Pass It On was an amazing piece also with Moiba. So I've known this guy as an actor, as well as a father for a couple years now. And I was just telling him we won an award, y'all, at the San Francisco Black Film Festival for King's Initiative. So shout out to everybody that worked with King's Initiative, you know, Aaron Brick, Andrew St. Just, Justin Givens, myself, Moiba, Curtis, everybody all involved, Patrick. Everybody was great. I can name everybody. But everybody was great with that. We had an amazing time. Plan on making some more in the future and continuing to grow that as well. But this was something that was really special. So like, take me through kind of what we were talking about just a little bit ago, like your hairstyle, how everything was. What did Pass It On, like, what did that mean for you, being a part of that and then being a dad and being able to kind of tap into that with the PSAs?
Man, it was such a coincidence. Reason being is because I've had the same hairstyle. I mean, I need to touch it up right now. I've had the same hairstyle since like 2019. A simple taper, mid fade maybe, with the little sponge on the top. And I don't know what made me get the original 90s box cut. It was just, I just wanted to do something different. you know, I wanted to see how I look in military uniform with it. I just wanted to see how I look. And then Jeremy reached out to me, which refreshed me. How did you get it find me again?
Now, I believe Justin, because like I said, like I was a producer on it, but my brother directed this one that you were in.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
I think he did a casting. Um,
Okay.
and through connections, I believe, with Aaron Brick, shout out to Aaron Brick, the producer, y'all. He actually had connections, I believe, with Moiba and maybe something else, like an acting class, perhaps. And I believe that's how y'all got connected. I wasn't involved in that aspect of it because I was focused on mine. So I don't know really how you guys came connected, but I am grateful that you did become connected, because after being there on the day, watching you guys perform that piece, I was just kind of like, man, it made me want to go back and redo mine that I did. And I was like, dude, these guys are so good. Like, this is so good. I was just so blown away and so impressed with like your performance. And I feel like just as dads, and I was kind of talking with Moiba a little bit about this on the day, it was like, just kind of as dads, we kind of get it and you understand like the importance of that moment and, being able to pass on like something from like in a legacy perspective with your son. Is that something that like because you both are actors, his son is an amazing actor too, y'all. And like, Curtis, we can dive more into like what he's been doing, like what you can see him in and things like that. But your son is also an actor. And like, when you think about Pass It On, so much of it is like passing that down. Is that something that you instilled into him at a young age because you were into it?
Yes, he kind of stumbled up across it by accident. I say 2018. That's when he moved in with me full time. And just like any other father, I try to throw him in sports. That was not his cup of tea, and I don't know what I was thinking because I'm one of the black men that's not naturally athletic. Yes, I am. We exist. So I was like, I got to do something, because my son was confused, and I was like, I got to do something. It was one day that I was on set for like a student film, and I didn't have a babysitter, so I brought my son. I was like, hey, I was telling the director, I know this is super unprofessional. My son is well behaved, which he is, still is. I was like, he has his iPad, he'll stay out of the way, yeah, like it won't be a problem. I noticed how And unlike any other child, he put that iPad off to the side and he's just sitting there watching his dad the whole time. He's just sitting there watching. So, in between cuts, I'm looking over, I'm like, he is not blinking. I was like, this might be something he wants to try. So, of course, immediately after, I'd asked him, I was like, hey, son, is this something you thinking about pursuing? He's like, no, 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 it looks like too much work. And again, you know how dads are. I threw him out there.
Yeah. There you go.
and,
There you go.
and it happened so perfect. It was perfect timing because it was 2020. It's the pandemic. It was still during the pandemic, the end of the year. He was already virtual learning. And, I made him feel like he was taking school headshots. Meanwhile, he was taking actors' headshots. And I was submitting to all the agencies, the local agencies. And when I tell you they were blowing my email up, I was like, well, hey, I didn't get that same attention when I was submitting myself. So,
A little
you
salty
know,
about that. Like,
I mean,
you didn't email me back, but
right. I
okay.
mean, they were throwing up, they were coming from all angles. And I was just like, this is a great problem to have. And then he did his very first self tape, which was fun because it wasn't behind the typical blue backdrop and lights. They wanted something more realistic. He had to grab the water hose. It was for a commercial. He had to grab a water hose and spray it on it. There's someone my ex-girlfriend, he had to spray it on her as she was on her laptop. And I think it was her reaction because he just kept spraying and he was having too much fun. Booked first, by the end of the week, he was booked. I mean, it was
Wow.
perfect. Yeah. So, he was loving the attention, all the hair, makeup, how everybody was treating him. And I think he fell in love with it. And what he didn't know at the end, he get an award, a
Yeah.
reward. He gets
Yeah.
paid. He didn't know about that. He was like, whoa, I get paid for that? Well, that did something to him.
Yeah. And now, like, fast forward, I mean, how many years ago was that?
All right, about 6 years. Yeah.
6 years, and now
Right.
what is he doing now?
He is still he's still at Fourth Wall Acting Studio, which he loves, right? And I'm there as well. Wonderful community. Everybody's all uplifting. If there's any competition, there's super friendly competition, but everyone's there to uplift each other. Um, he's still virtual at the time just because of my military, and then I may have to have him here and there, so he's totally fine with that. But he's interacting with nothing but actors or those with creative talents.
Yeah.
Uh, which is good. He
Awesome.
got his head
Yeah.
on straight.
Yes. And it's something that, like, so you both kind of share in it, and I know recently you've had some good success too in, like, your acting career. So can you tell the people a little bit about that, or is that too much to share?
No, I would love to. The question is, where should I start? Okay.
Wherever you want to. You can start wherever you want.
So when I had all the free time in the world, I'm auditioning. And at the time I was on 3-year military orders, voluntary orders, which I was like a program manager. And, I kind of I had more time on my hands. Like it was super flexible, and I was getting work done. Like the first podcast, I had just started that program, so I had been doing that for 3 years, auditioning. Well, those orders came to an end, and I had to go back to my civilian job that I've been at for 14 years. I was like, oh God, there ain't gonna be any flexibility. I got all the PTO in the world, but I ain't gonna be able to use it when I need to use it. Um, so as soon as I get back to my civilian job, a veil check for this project. I can't disclose this. It's a big episodic show, but I had the veil check. I was like, all right, I'm excited, but I've had one of these before and didn't hear anything. So let me just keep going. Get the second veil check. Now I'm on one Nashville. I was like, all right, I keep getting these veil checks. Casting, they want you, your books. I'm like, oh, wait, oh, what? How am I going to tell my job, like, hey, I have PTO, but I really need off on this day? Luckily, they were able to work with me. Then they were able to work with me then, but they're thinking it was a first time go. Well, shortly after that, then I get booked for a commercial. Then I get booked with, and all these bookers start coming. And I was just like, what? I had 3 years with flexibility. All of
Isn't
a
that how it
sudden,
go?
I'm a house moderator. Like, I was just, and then trying to juggle that. And again, I'm so blessed to have the son that I have. I mean, we all love our children, but he makes single parenting so much easier because he's so mature, self-sufficient. I don't really have to worry about him other than making sure he has food. And I mean, he does his schoolwork, he's a straight A student. But anyways, I say all this to say he gave me enough time to try to juggle this and then juggle that. And then next thing you know, I find out I'm on top of the list for E8 Master Sergeant for the Army National Guard. So I'm like, that's going to be additional work added to what I'm already trying to figure out. Whew. So it is a blessing, but it's mixed emotions from happy, sad, ugly. I was like, I don't know how to feel some days because it's just so much I'm trying to juggle. And I had to take a point for one of it because not only did not one actually book me for the first episode, but then they brought me back for a second, then a third. And I was
Let's
just like,
go.
I might have to let my job go, but just like anyone, yeah, being a full time actor is everyone's goal and dream, but you have to be realistic. Like, I mean, I'm not Morris Chestnut. I'm not Michael B. Jordan. Not saying that I can't be. I don't look like them, but I mean, the idea sounds great. And then, just trying to find employment that would allow you to be as flexible to pursue your dreams.
Right.
That's a challenge, and I'm kind of battling that right now. I was like, I want to stay where I've been at, but yeah, opportunities like this don't just fall in your lap. I mean,
No.
I definitely put in the work, but now I have to manage my scheduling and sleep
Yeah.
and sleep.
So you're at that kind of impasse. And that's kind of what we were talking about, and I know you had shared that you kind of wanted to talk about these things. It's like a work life balance, and where you're kind of at like an impasse in
Mhm.
your journey. Dad is consistent. That's always going to be there. That's never going away. That's something that we'll always have. It's something that we'll always do. Something that we're all willing to do all the time. But here you have a pass of where this is your dream, and then
It
this is your
is.
job. The job is more consistent with the pay, but the dream is the dream, right? It's like it's not even necessarily always about the pay. It's I'm getting to do what I love to do. You love to eventually get to the point to where it's like, yeah, this is my career. This is what I do to, feed my family. But it's a dream nonetheless. Like for me, maybe it's different for you, but like a dream, I feel like it's your dream when you would do it for free. If you
Yeah,
had it's like I would do this for free. I love doing this stuff. Um, and that's hard. That's hard to make that decision. You're seeing success. You're seeing how you can just keep growing and growing and growing and growing in the path of your dream. But you're seeing that adversity of like, well, the consistency of this job is kind of in an adverse way. Is that fair to say that that's kind of like where you're at?
it is. It is. And, even now that I feel like I made my mind up and I think this would be the best decision I probably ever made because I've shown both. I have two children, but the son that lives with me, and, I influenced both of them. But I took it upon myself as I'm trying to find these flexible jobs to work around my schedule. I'm like, I am a veteran. I do have these benefits that a lot of people would only join the military for. Why don't I just go back to school?
Mm,
I've always told my boys, I was like, I've made a life without going to college. I don't even know how to enroll in college. It's like, I want y'all to go. I saved my post 9/11 for y'all to go, but y'all don't have to join the military. I did this for you. But then I'm like, you know what? I showed him a single father can buy a home. Show him how a single father buy the car that he wants, likes, and be able to go all these vacations. Let me show him, the father going to school, especially while my son is still remote learning. I was like, how about we both, just take a trip while we're both doing schoolwork in another city and state. So that's what I'm trying to do now. But guess what? I hit another barrier. So on top of everything that I'm trying to keep up with, okay, I need my school transcripts. I've been out of school 18 years, high school. Now I've been in military schools and all that, and that also counts as college credits. But as far as high school, I've been out for 18 years, 2008. Well, the private school that I graduated from, due to me and my behavior and not really paying attention, I ended up graduating the year I was supposed to graduate, just a little later in July. Well, the school that I graduated from closed down in 2016, and the principal at that time had passed away. So now I'm having a hard time trying to find certified copies of my transcripts, but I will find them because they do exist. And that's how I joined the
yeah.
military. So
We can knock those out. That's an easy find. Like we can figure that out. It's an obstacle, but that's something that we can like always figure out. So then with your dream and
Mhm.
with what you're going after, what is something that you look forward to for the remainder of the year and even beyond that as you are in the pursuit of your dream of being, a full-time working actor?
Consistency,
Yeah.
consistency, just remaining consistent, which I have been. Getting more rest because, working Monday through Sunday, not just with my civilian job, but military and parenting and auditioning and acting class on the weekends, just consistency and proper sleep, eating healthy,
Mm,
staying clean, and staying positive. And of course, I can't do this by myself, so I have to thank the man upstairs. Sometimes I wake and I'm like, I don't know how. I don't see how I'm able to keep up with all of this. I
yeah.
can't. I mean, there's always someone out there that's just as busy as I am, if not more. Coming from where I came from, I never in a million years thought I'd be where I'm at. And I've always getting to the point where I want more, but there's people that look at me and be like, I pray to be in your situation. So, just to step back and smell the roses, be like, you know what, you came far. Just give yourself
You're
credit,
doing
man.
it, man. Like,
Yeah,
I could tell you this as a fellow actor, uh, you being able to get avails and multiple avails for network television is is huge, man. I know a lot of actors in Los Angeles that would do anything to be in that position. So it is something that I know you're grateful for. It is something that is amazing, like what you're getting and what you're doing. Like it's amazing.
Mhm.
And but you're right with like it kind of goes back to that work life balance. Like the dream, there also is a little bit of a balance of that too, because you can't be your best self if you're not taking care of yourself. And that's something that I'm learning
That's
even
very true.
myself too. Uh, for you, I'm the same way with sleep. I'm the same way, for me, I'm bad with like, going to the dentist, going to the doctor and checking in on myself, making sure everything's good. I always push myself to the back end and just kind of take care of everybody else. And I
Yeah.
think as dads, like that's what we tend to do. It's like, don't worry about me. I'll be all right. Like, let me make sure everybody else is good. Let me get everything set up and then I'll finally rest and then I'll finally sleep. And then by the time you finish everything, you're like, it's time for me to go again. I gotta get back at it. Or you randomly get that audition from like your agent and you're like, I can't just sit now. I got to do this audition and it's due tomorrow and it's a network
Yep.
audition. So I really got to do it. I know those feelings and that it almost can get you to where you're like, dang, man, I'm so tired. But you do have to take those moments and kind of like, one, recognize that this is a part of the journey. This is
Uh-huh.
it, in the pursuit of your dreams and you being able to achieve what you want to achieve. It's not gonna be easy. It's never
Uh-huh.
gonna be easy when you're trying to shift and do something that is moving you out of one world and putting you into another world. That's
Mhm.
always difficult, but also remembering have balance, like have time to take care of yourself. Like it's okay to say no. It's okay to sit down for a second. And so like for me, I'm like a clean freak. So I'm like, oh, like the cleaning can wait, man. Like just wait a second, just like sit for a second or like find some time somewhere to just like kind of like relax or recoup or making sure that you're taking care of yourself.
Right.
Are there anything that you do like that you like do to take care of yourself? Like what's some like self-care tips that like you have that you could think that people could benefit from?
You know, going to the gym, I mean, that's a necessity for me because I mean,
Yeah.
especially now I have PT test coming up. Very therapeutic for me. But trying to squeeze my gym time right before work, I have to sacrifice some sleep. So I
Yeah.
get up at about 5, but I make sure I get my gym in and then let my job physically drain me for the rest of the 12, 14 hours. But yeah, just going to the gym. That's the only thing I really can do at that time. And then Saturday, my son has acting class. I might ride around the city of Nashville, look at all the places that used to be abandoned and look at all the coffee shops now. Just a little sightseeing. Then, of course, I have class on Sunday. Yeah, I try to squeeze as much as I can. I recently had someone ask me, I was like, "Why are you still single?" There's a reason why I'm still single. Where where can I fit a relate? Where can I fit dating in right now? People say it's possible, but right now I'm trying to do as much as I can for my children. Once they're grown in college, at a place, then I can relive my 20s and think about me. Until then, I have 2 more years. 2 more years.
There you go. You're plowing through it. Is there what's something that, I guess like do you sleep well or have you found something that works for your sleep?
No, well, the VA, they prescribe me just melatonin because sometimes I have a hard time shutting my brain off, especially when I know I have so much to do the next day. Every day I have something to do, not just work, but I have something to do. I have somebody to email. And once upon a time, just like any other, you know, child wanting to be an adult. I've always wanted to have that importance about myself because I didn't really have much of that growing up. I mean, none of us did really, unless you were in sports and you had all the attention. But you know what? It's something that I wanted, but now I'm just like, I don't know if I want to be this. I don't know. It's a lot. I mean, I'm managing it, but you give me a week vacation away from everything, and I think that spark could kick back in. It's
Yeah,
like,
I
all
know
right,
what you're
bring it.
saying.
Come on.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I
come
know what you're
on,
saying.
let's
When
go.
you actually achieve it, and then there's like all this attention around you or drawn to you, you start to see like uh it's not what it's all cracked up to be. And
Right, right.
I've had little bits of experience with that, and it's not it's easy to think that like the glamour and all the eyes being on you is something that you want. And
Uh,
when you do have all eyes on you, it can be kind of like a lot.
yeah, yeah.
And sometimes you just want a trip or you want to go somewhere where it's like, I don't want to be around anyone or anything. That's something that I've been thinking a lot about. I was like, I'd rather, just be by myself, bring my kids. I could be out in the middle of nowhere with nothing and there's no cell phones. There's nothing. Like I'm just, God is good when I'm like when I'm in that space. It's like, oh yeah, that's what I want. Cause it can be a
Right.
lot. You got to be careful of what you ask for. And like unfortunately with what we want to do and what we love and what you're doing and what I'm doing, uh, there is a little bit of that comes with it. And
Mhm.
you just you got to find ways to kind of balance that out and find
Yeah,
find the peace within it too. How
yeah.
does your family feel about some of the success that you've had like as an actor, like and things like that?
Yeah, I'd say very rewarding, especially see my mom. She's older and still kicking it around, probably moving around a lot faster than I am. With 911 being one of her favorite shows, and then her loving Angela Bassett. Then saying, my son's gonna be, he's gonna be the male Angela Bassett in Nashville. I was like, I don't know about all that. Hopefully they give me a series regular. And her eyes, I'm a series regular. I'm the star.
You're always gonna be the star in mama's eyes, that's for sure.
Exactly. Exactly. Have my baby on TV. She had told everybody, but what feels great is when we out somewhere and I see somebody I hadn't seen in a long time. And then he was like, well, congratulations. I'm like, for number one. Oh, no, I was talking about the commercial. You on number one too? I was like, dang, I'm just getting compliments.
Look at
So,
you,
I
boy.
was like,
Let's
no, for which
go.
accomplishment? I was like, which accomplishment? I guess that's a good problem to have. That, believe it or not, can actually get overwhelming. It depends on like if I'm trying to hurry up and do something right before work, then someone stop me and I'm trying to be nice. I'm like, man, I appreciate you, but yeah,
I gotta
I
go.
gotta get to
Like
work. I gotta get to
I
work.
got stuff to do. I'm like, you slowing me down. No, I
Yeah.
know exactly what. Are there projects that you like fantasize that you like dream about doing that, I think that the work that you got has been, is amazing work. Like 911's an amazing show. They do great work. And Angela Bassett, obviously, like we know Angela Bassett is amazing.
Hmm.
Is there what type of projects or what type of roles are you interested in the future?
Man, I feel like I've achieved the biggest of them all. I've always wanted to be on something episodic. That goes all the way back to 2014 when Power first came out. And it was something about Power. I was like, man, just being episodic where everybody's looking forward to seeing my performance every week. And I was like, yeah, I want something episodic. So I feel like in 6 years, I finally, oh, no, seven. My son was with the agency since 2020. And then I started in 2019. So yeah, 7 years, just being on something episodic. Now I think my biggest thing, well, I just accomplished that goal. Uh, Horror is my favorite genre. And my son and I both just finished a feature film for a horror film.
Wow.
Um, yes, I mean, I don't know if I can disclose that information just yet, but just know you're gonna see a lot of previews and everything once I'm able to share.
Yeah, that's
So,
amazing. Okay,
yeah.
so, like, horror, films, you like Power, sounds like you were looking, like, series, like, regular roles and, like, those opportunities and, like, episodics and stuff like that. I like that. I like the push of that.
And
And
not
then
only
horror
that,
film.
I forgot to mention, sorry about that.
No, you
Not only
good.
that, we got talking about power, but then here I am on set with Haley Kilgore from Power Book, the one of the spinoffs, and I'm just like, dang. But I'm like, we had to work together. I'm not trying to look like a groupie, I just, showed him like, hey, you did a phenomenal job. thank you. The inside of me want to be like, oh, no, we did this, you did that, man. I'm telling you what. But I'm like, look, yeah, I keep professional. I
You
ain't
have to
trying to
keep
overwhelm
composure, like,
anybody.
"Oh, I gotta show her I'm a professional. I do this too. I do this too." And like
And you talking about like out of body experience. I'm just like, man, I'm actually riding in the van right now. That is crazy work, man. I'm like, wow, look at all that time. I was like,
That
dang,
is
7 years later.
absolutely amazing. You're living the dream, man. Like, you're getting to live your dream out, and hopefully, like, I know we've, hit this home so many times. Hopefully, you're really, like, people are telling you that, like, and that you're seeing, like, you're doing it, Curtis. Like, you're actually in the path. You're in the journey of your dream. And I know that there's a lot of struggles and a lot of obstacles that are around it and like, what you're going through. I get all of that. I do. And I'm right there with you, brother. But just remember to appreciate it like in those moments because like you're doing it. And your son
Mhm,
is getting to watch both of your boys. They're able to watch you and they're like, dude, look at my dad. Like, look at what my dad does. My dad
mhm.
works hard. My dad has several jobs and he still is pursuing his dream and he's still doing it and he's crushing it. He's on so what do you think is the biggest takeaway for your boys from the work that you do, not only with your dreams, but just, the day to day grind in and grind out to make sure you got food on the table?
I think the biggest thing that they should, if they hadn't, I'm pretty sure they have, is not only am I able to keep up with all of this, they can never say that father was absent. I've always made the time to make sure we did something. Now, usually, if I'm out and about, that's one thing, but once I come back, we don't even have to go anywhere. My son would be upstairs on his Xbox, and my youngest son would be downstairs, and all three of us playing Fortnite. That's a great bonding moment. We're all gamers, so we all playing Fortnite for hours and hours at a time. I honestly wish I could say I was able to do that with my father, but
Yeah.
I don't blame my father. He had a lot of health issues after Vietnam, which, as I gotten older now, I understand. At the time I didn't, but I wasn't really mad at him because I was still happy when I seen him. But I just
Mhm.
feel like I think that's what empowers me to be the father that I am. It's like this is what I feel like I was missing growing up. And I was chasing that in the streets, like, we hear it all the time. I was chasing it out there, but the army got me away from that.
Yeah.
Yes, and my mama, she raised me well. That was just me being hard headed.
You
That's just me
found a
being
way
hard.
home. That's all
I
that
sure did.
that's all that really matters is that you found a way home and you
Yes.
grounded yourself in fatherhood. And I think that that's
Hmm.
as dads, that's one of the most powerful things. I have friends that like, they see me have kids and they don't have kids and like and this has happened so many times and they're like, how do you do this? Like how do you do this? Like cuz you think I was like cuz I always tell them like you think having a kid sets you back and it's like somehow a weakness. And I look at it as like
Hmm.
having a kid is like a superpower. It provides
Yes.
you a way of an energy source, a drive,
Hmm.
a force of nature that gets within you that kind of enhances every bit of you, even like, just
Hmm.
the full spectrum of your personality, your character, what you believe in, principles. Everything is just out on display and it's magnified. And you can just choose what you want to do with it. You can either sharpen those things and cultivate them and nurture them into being something that's going to be something that benefits them,
Uh-huh.
or you can cower to it and run away from it. And most times, often than not, definitely with Black fathers, I've seen them actually lean into it. It doesn't take away from people um, that did not experience that, and I think our parents' generation, your dad included, they're a different generation, and their interactions and their perceptions of what it meant to show love is different, right? And I appreciate you, sharing that and being vulnerable and kind of sharing like your perspective with your dad and like how that has motivated you with your relationship with your kids. And it's the same thing for me. My dad worked a lot. My dad wasn't necessarily always he, got up in the morning and left and he came home at night. And I was with my mom like most of the day and stuff. And, very rare, like we had interactions, we had moments, and I have great memories with him. Um, but I didn't like think about it as like absent or like anything like that. Um, and I know that that's something that's big for you. Do you feel like your dad was absent in your life, or do you feel like it was just a product of the time? Like, what are you kinda thinking, like, with that?
Well, just growing up with some of the friends that I had, they used to always bash their daddy, and it was kind of hard for me to do that because I'm like, when I did see him, I was excited. I was such a mama's boy; it didn't matter to me whether I see him or not at the younger age. But as I gotten older, he was. One thing I regret. I regret. When he like years before he passed in 2005, he was wanting to spend that time because now I'm a teenager. But I'm like, I'm out chasing after girls. I got all these friends. And I did the one summer going out there with him in Portland, Tennessee. I was bored out of my mind. I've been in the city all my life. I was bored out of my mind. I didn't know nothing about the country. I can care less about the country and stink. Being in the cornfield. And I did load those strawberries in that field. I still remember that to this day. But he was just trying to bond with me, and I'm meeting family members. And at that time, I was just like, man, I'm trying to go back. I got high school, yeah, high school football game, basketball game to go to, and he wanted to spend time with me right before his passing, but I was too far out trying to find myself. I was trying to find
Yeah.
myself. So, I,
What do you
I
think
wish
he
I
would say to you now, seeing how you are as a dad and, like, the things that you're doing? What do you think he would think of that?
Well, it's funny how how I said earlier in the podcast, I said I don't want my children to join because, like, hey, you have your benefits, you have Chapter 35, you have post 9/11, you should be good. Just go to school. He didn't want me to join. He did not want me to join. He wanted me to go to school and use the Chapter 35 and he served 13 months, which he earned the Purple Heart. Here I am 15 and a half years, knocking on the board at E8. Oh no, one of my boys might end up making it a sergeant major or a general. You never know. I didn't have a desire to join the military back then. But life started life, and around the time I graduated high school, and I was like, I'm gonna have to do something because the way I'm living ain't right. And I'm just
Yeah,
glad I chose to join the military.
yeah. Do you think do you do you think your kids are motivated by you?
Well, right now, I probably get on their nerves because I preach to them a whole lot, but I can tell they're listening. But it's one of those things. Once they get out there on their own, they're gonna be like, "Nah, I see what my daddy was talking about." I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
I will talk your ears to death, hoping that it is still in your brains." You go out there and be like, "Okay, this is what my daddy told me to watch out for."
yeah. I know. We
And I
try to
love
give
having
them
that.
those lessons all the time, man.
Oh yeah, and I always like to tell them, I'm like, "Hey, there's a reason why I'm telling you, hint, hint, this right here, right there, because if I had somebody talking to me like I'm talking to y'all, I probably wouldn't have any kids. Yeah, I went through a lot. I went through the lot with the mamas, but we all get along now. So we get along now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I went through a whole lot. If I knew what I know now, oof, yeah, I probably wouldn't have any. But I love my children. They the reason why they're the spark to my fire.
yeah. It's a beautiful thing,
They
man,
are.
having kids and being a it's a privilege to be able to say that you're a father, and not everybody gets to be able to say that. And it sounds like, what you got going on, you were doing that and some. You're
Mhm.
being a dad and you're being a star at the same time. And that's something that is you are, man. It's something that's not uh going unrecognized. For me, afar watching you, I've seen it, and it's been inspiring to see, um just especially with, like, your spirit. Like, it's just you have your adverse moments, but, like, your spirit really can be, like, welcoming and, like, calming, to anyone that interacts with you, which I think is a product of why you are so successful, 'cause you're easy to work with and you're easy to be around. And your kids are really gonna be able to benefit, that and then some. And, I know that they've already
Mhm.
benefited from you so much. But just grateful to be able to sit down and talk with you. And I don't wanna keep you because I know you work so much, and I want you to be able to get some rest. So,
What's the
let the
rest? I don't
people
know
know
what
a little
rest
bit
is.
about some of the stuff that they can see you in, or that they can watch you in, or anything like that. If anything that you can disclose, like, where can the people find out more about Curtis Williams?
Well, of course, you got now on Nashville. You catch for Prime. I don't know. I'm sorry, I said Prime. Apparently, I know I'm exhausted. What was it? Hulu. Yeah, I'm sorry. Hulu, Apple Plus. We have some that are coming out this year. I'll just say, just check me out on IMDb.
Yeah.
Just check out
Check it
my
out on
IMDb.
IMDb. What's your
Yeah.
Instagram handle so that people can get that too?
Yes, is at only the number one Curtis Williams.
There's only one, y'all. That's it.
There's
That's
only
all you
one.
need to know. There's only one Curtis Williams.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of the After Bedtime Podcast. We appreciate you so much. If you do want to ask any other questions, if you want to ask Curtis a little bit about acting and how he got into it and how he's balancing it, maybe you're a dad out there that wants to give it a shot, I definitely will champion for that as a fellow actor. I think you can do it. Get out there, get some self-tapes going. You could do this, make your dreams happen. If you do want to know a little bit more about it, email us. You can email us at, we got a new email. Let me pull that up. Email us at the after bedtime pod at gmail.com. Subject line, after bedtime, Curtis Williams, and then go into a little bit more of what you want to know. And I will make sure that Curtis gets it. And however he wants to be able to respond to you, he can respond to you. But other than that, thank you guys so much for listening. Stay tuned for the next episode where we talk with another great Black American dad, y'all. Good night.
Peace.
Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of After Bedtime, brought to you by the Black American Dad Foundation. I hope that you were just as much inspired as we were listening to another great dad with his amazing dreams and how he's balancing being dad at the same time. If you want to know more about the Black American Dad Foundation, you know a dad that'd be great for the show. You want to ask that dad that was just on some questions about his business or his dreams and how he's doing it. Maybe you want to get a little bit more information. Email us at blackamericandad@gmail.com, subject line it after bedtime, and then go into a little bit more of what you want to know. Other than that, thank you again for listening to us, and hopefully you are inspired. Good night, and we'll see you on the next episode where we follow another great Black American dad.